Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In previous video, I've discussed over the basics and introduction to GST. In this video, I will start over the registration under the GST. At the end of this video, you will get to know the introduction, its advantages, and the first section of registration, that is section 22. Now let's get started with its introduction. Registration is the most fundamental requirement for identification of taxpayers, ensuring tax compliance in the economy. Without registration, a person can neither collect tax from its customers nor claim any ITC for the taxes on his inward supplies. Now come over the advantages of registration. The following are the advantages to a taxpayer who obtained registration under GST. First, he is legally recognized as the supplier of goods or services or both. He is legally authorized to collect taxes from its customers and pass on the credit of taxes paid on goods or services supplied to the recipients, because without getting any registration under GST, he will not be able to pass on the credit to its recipients. Third, he can claim ITC of taxes paid and utilize the same for payment of taxes due on supply of goods or services. Registration under GST can enable registered person can easily gain trust from its customers. Now come over the exception of one registration for one state. Multiple registrations permitted for separate business vertical. Separate business vertical means separate areas of business. Now second will be one as an input service distributor and other for outward supply. Now come over the first section of registration, that is section 22, which stands for persons liable for registration. Section 22 subsection 1, every supplier shall be liable to be registered under this act in the state or union territory other than the special category states from where he makes a taxable supply of goods or services or both, if his aggregate turnover in the financial year exceeds 20 lakhs. But in case of special category of states, it gets reduced to rupees 10 lakh. From 1st April 2019, a notification came about the exemptions from obtaining registration. In this, the first point stands for the suppliers engaged exclusively in supply of goods. Now, in first point, it contains the 4 states for which the exemption limit will be rupees 10 lakh. And these states are Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland and Tripura. In second point, the limit will be 20 lakhs and the states are the Uttarakhand, Meghalaya, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Puducherry, Telangana. In the rest of states of India, limit will be 40 lakhs. For supplier engaged in supply of services or both goods and services, it also consists in 2 parts. First, where the limit is rupees 10 lakh and second rupees 20 lakh. In rupees 10 lakh, the states will be Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura, and in rest states of India it will be 20 lakh. So in this exemption, we have divided it over in 2 parts. For first, which is suppliers engaged exclusively in supply of goods, and second, for supplier engaged in supply of services or both goods or services. Now come over the exception to this exemption, which is stated as below. The first, the persons required to take compulsory registration under section 24 of GST, which I will discuss in the later videos, and the persons engaged in making supplies of ice cream and other edible ice, whether or not containing cocoa, pan masala, and all other goods like tobacco and manufactured tobacco substitutes. Third, the persons engaged in making interest rate supplies in the states of Arunachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Meghalaya and Sikkim, Telangana, Puducherry and special category states as per section 22. Interstate supplies of goods are nevertheless liable to compulsory registration. And the last point is the person who has opted for voluntary registration. Now come over its second point, that is registered under existing law is liable to be registered under this act. Now every person who on the day immediately preceding the appointed day. Now what is the appointed day? Appointed day is when the GST comes into the picture, that is 1st July 2017, is registered or holds a license under an existing law. Now what is existing law? That is VAT, excise duty, service tax, etc. shall be liable to be registered under this act with effect from the appointed day. Now come over with these remaining points of the section 22, that is subsection 3 and subsection 4, which talks about the transfer of business and amalgamation and merger. First, we will classify it in two areas. First is the transfer takes place where the business carried on by taxable person registered under this act is transferred. Second, the pursuant to order of HC or tribunal. If the transfer takes place on account of succession as a going concern, the person liable for registration will be the transferee or the successor, and it will be effect from the date of such transfer or succession. And if it is pursuant to order of HC or tribunal and the transfer take place on account of amalgamation and demerger, the person liable for registration will be the transferee, and it will be effective from the date on which the ROC issues a certificate of incorporation. Now, a term which is the aggregate turnover, which I have stated above and which is defined under section 2 clause 6 of CGST Act. This express includes all supplies made by the taxable person, whether on his own account or made on behalf of all his principals. Aggregate turnover can be explained as below. I have categorized in two parts what it includes and what it excludes. It includes the value of all outward supplies, that is taxable supplies, exempt supplies, exports, interstate supplies of persons having same PAN will be computed on all India basis. And what it excludes CGST, SGST, UTGST, IGST and cess, and its full form and details I have discussed over in the first video, that is what is CGST, SGST, IGST and cess. And second is the value of inward supplies on which tax is payable under reverse charge. However, outward supply on which reverse charge is charged will be included in this. That is, the outward supplies taxable under the RCM would continue to be the part of the aggregate turnover of the supplier of such supplies. The below are the points related to aggregate turnover. The aggregate turnover to include total turnover of all branches under the same PAN. The aggregate turnover is calculated by taking together the value in respect of activities carried on all India basis. For example, if a dealer has two offices, one is Delhi and Haryana, so in order to determine whether X is liable for registration, the turnover of both the offices would be taken into account, and only if the same exceeds the applicable threshold or limit, the X is liable for registration. The second point related to aggregate turnover is aggregate turnover to include all supplies made by the taxable persons, whether on his own account or made on the behalf of all his principals. For example, A Enterprises appointed Messrs. C Associates as its agents, and C Associates makes supplies of goods on its own account as well as on behalf of A Enterprises. So all supplies of goods made by Messrs. C and Associates as an agent of A Enterprise as well as on its own account will be included in the aggregate turnover of Messrs. C and Associates. In this video, I have discussed with its introduction, its advantages, and the first section of registration 22. If you like the video, kindly like the same and subscribe the channel. Thank you.